Hello! Welcome back to Night's Arcade. I'm Sleepless Night. We're in Hardspace Shipbreaker again. And oh man, COVID has been kicking my ass. I've still got a cough, so there still will be coughing tonight, but I always, because of various reasons, I always get a continued dry cough for a long time after I've had a really, really bad illness, which that was. It was just evil. And what makes it worse is, like, in a few weeks, I would guess somewhere between 4 to 8 weeks from now, there'll be a long break in Night's Arcade again, when we move house again. So I would imagine that'll be 4 to 8 weeks from now, somewhere like that. And there'll be a long break again. So 2022, not a particularly consistent year for Night's Arcade. So there you go. Yeah, that will still be there, but when I get this, I have sarcoidosis, so when I've had like a really bad illness for a while, that will continue for weeks. So if we wait until that's over, honestly, I'd probably hardly ever be online at all. But I'm back now. Honestly. So we're back in Hardspace Shipbreaker. We're going to continue. Oh, no, not on my standard license, on my limited license, because that's where we were through in the story. HJ! Look at that. God, dude. Man, it's good to hear from you. It's been like 35 seconds at least since we spoke. And Pilot. Like, it must be almost a minute. Coughing or coughing. My grandfather always used to say it's not the cough that carries you off, it's a coffin they carry you off in. David, welcome. Let's have some norms. Norm. Oh wait, actually, now that I say that, is the chat bot working? Looks like it is, yeah. So long. Oh, so long. Bye. Right, let's dive in again, shall we? Let's go back to Korea. Let's go back to where we were, because my other license on this, like, I've finished the game, the story, and everything, so I have to make sure I come in on the right one. Oh dear. Yeah, I do feel a lot better, David. Like, way better. That was evil. Like, honestly, like, I had about a week of it being. The first few days were pretty crap. It was like a really bad cold, and then it got really bad. Like, I'm not supposed to get, because I'm immunosuppressed. I'm on immunosuppressant, so I'm not supposed to get fevers at all, of any kind. But I had a fever of like over 40 degrees one night for like over 8 hours solid, and no matter how much medication I took, wouldn't lower the temperature. I just cooked alive, almost cooked my brain. And I had a temperature for like a couple of weeks, like, not that high, but for quite a while. I was looking forward for your streams. Glad to see you back. Thank you, Vitaly. Good to see you. Should have clarified I meant such a long time, not goodbye. Yeah, I know that, buddy. Yeah, you were pretty gooey. And Mordred. Reina. Yes, I was. I was not in a good place when when we did that last when we did that last Sniper Elite stream. But this cough, don't worry about that coughs. When I've had a really bad illness, coughs always take a long time to go. If we wait for that to go, it'll be September before I'm back online. So, but yeah, I feel way, way better. I'm a lot better than I was. Now, right, see this, right? So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but this, your requested ship was lost in processing. As compensation for a technical error, we've credited the following to your account. Why that's happened is because now they have the save ship feature, right? So you can save a ship and then go back into the same ship as you left the last time, right? So we left one, I guess, halfway through. But I got this on my other account the other day as well. And the reason they're putting this up is because there's been like a minor tweak. There's been a bit of an update, which, as usual for Shipbreaker updates, a bit like Bethesda, really, as usual for Shipbreaker updates, has fixed a bunch of stuff, and it's broken a couple of other things. So the crazy-ass physics where you're getting ships flung all over the place and panels just suddenly blasting themselves off into space, occasionally that happens now. So, you know, they had fixed that, but that's back. But they fixed a couple of other things and tweaked them. But because there's been an update, they couldn't reload you on the same ship that you'd finished, so they basically compensated you for that. One of the things I've noticed that's gone wrong, on my other account, I have now cleared my debt, right? So I've cleared my debt on my other account completely. It's gone down below 0. But instead of going into minus figures, which it used to when you used to play Shipbreaker, instead of it going into minus figures, it started, once it passed 0, it started counting back up. So my debt went beyond 0 and on my other account, and now it started counting back up again. So, I don't know. Maybe that's a thing. The sticky mid-processor glitch. Oh, you mean with the Atlas thrusters? I've only noticed... I haven't noticed that that's happened yet, but I've been sort of really, really careful to avoid it since the update, so we'll see. So, oh, I got a message. Oh, that's lore about the railgate. Whee, there it is. Right, let's go and see what the equipment... Since it's been weeks since I did this one. The key to Beulah. There you go. That's the key to the armadillo outside. I'm starting to think this company might be entirely on the square. I know, right? Oh dear. I've got a new sticker somewhere. I don't know what it is. Do we? No, for God's sake. Let me put that. Stick that there. Nanocarbon one. We did that one before. No. Okay, he doesn't want me to stick that there, apparently. Oh, it's because I've put it already on the other tool. I don't like that one. I'm not going to put that one on. Because you can't put all these stickers on because there isn't enough room. So you have to be a little bit so that you can put most of them on, but you have to be a little bit selective. Let's put that on. There you go. Oh, forgot to check the quality of the equipment. Laser cutter, split saw, range upgrade, heat capacity upgrade is a good one to get quite early on. But see, we got tether amounts now. You really want to upgrade the tether amount and the strength and the range of your grapple. Again, I've been playing on my other account, so this might be a bit of a pain. I don't really use the scanner often enough for that to be a thing. We're rank 9, or we can go up again. That's going to be 55 links tokens, so that should be easy enough to get. Let's... Don't use the scanner as often as I should. Here's the thing. Let's increase the tether amount, because that's always a thing that you want. The range of the grapple. Did we get any? No. Okay. 19. Yeah, okay, that'll do. Right, so I have to start a new ship. Vlad, how you doing? Let's have some norms up there, look. Vlad, one for Vlad. We had some for a bunch of people earlier on. How are you doing? Nikomoni. I'm doing all right, buddy. Thank you very much. Much better. You can still hear a cough, but that doesn't, I'm not particularly ill anymore. I'm way, way better than I was. So we've got a tiny little javelin, squishy little javelin to do. There's an Atlas, an Exolab mackerel tank, another mackerel, heavy cargo mackerel. Let's start off with a... Let's break ourselves back in oh, wait. Hang on. What do we need? What do we need? First of all, for the ship doctor. No, for the ship doctor. We need a circuit and wires. Circuits and wires. So let's see. They're fairly common components, so shouldn't be a major problem to find those. Let's go down to the bottom of the job board. Yeah, wires. Circuits and wires on that javelin. On that Atlas. Mackerel. And the Exo Lab, which I don't want to do. All right, let's do that javelin then. I hate javelins, but there you go. I don't hate them. I just find them. I don't particularly. I'm looking forward to unlocking the geckos. That's what I'm looking forward to. I always look forward to unlocking the geckos because.
Morning, folks. Starting the shift clock now.
Hey Weaver, how you doing, buddy?
Dent in the dead. Anyone want to race me?
Oh man, I'm slow.
Racing? You're gonna get yourself killed.
All the stuff is slow.
This is Hal. Just wondering, how much time is spent chatting on average in a day here?
It's just the crew checking in with one another from time to time. No harm in that.
Well, as you know, the Lynx employee handbook says that avoiding chatter makes profits fatter.
Talking to each other is good for productivity, actually.
Well, we'll look at the performance reports later and see, I guess.
People are people. It doesn't mean we don't take our work seriously, Rhodes.
Yeah, Rhodes.
Right? No need to talk back.
Hey now, it's all good.
Flush the fuel.
Let's everybody just get back to work.
Fine. I'm out of here.
Good, good. You should all focus on your work.
It's our friendly neighborhood Hal, the Lynx administrator.
Salvage deposit registered.
He's an asshole. A-S-S-H-O-L-E. He's an asshole. Did you guys have that ad over there in the States with Dennis Leary? Drunk. I think it was just a UK thing. The drunk driving ad. You know, it's a drunk driving like information thing that, you know, don't drink and drive. And we had Dennis Leary doing his asshole song. He's an asshole. I guess you don't have ads like that on the TV in the States.
Salvage accepted.
Hey, Dwight, how you doing, buddy?
Salvage deposited. Applying credit to account.
Whoopsie. Whoop. Shouldn't have done that. Just met this Hal fellow in my game. Don't think he'd open the pod bay doors either. No, Hal is an asshole.
Deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
I actually prefer HAL 9000 to this HAL. Like, in fact, by a country mile, I prefer him. This HAL, he's not a good guy. He gets a lot worse. If you've only just met him, you haven't seen the half of it yet. Oh, for God's sake, go. Go. Oh, what am I stuck on now? Goddamn fuel tanks. Oopsie.
Credits deposited.
Oh, where are you going? Nope. You're going down there, buddy. Whoop.
Transferring credits.
And a cell processing sticker. I got there. Yoink. Aku, how you doing, buddy?
Salvage secured. Applying credit.
Can we get some norms? Come on. We're bringing back the norms. The norms went away for far too long. Oopsie. There you go. Right. Let's cut all that out of the cage once I've Oh no, I really need to get rid of this. I really need to get rid of this fuel pod as soon as I can, really.
Salvage secured.
Because these fuel pods are evil. Look at that. I do like that now, that they've done that. Sometimes it'll cut into bits, but other times you get a nice clean... Whoops. And other times not, look.
Transferring credit.
Guess this is where the name comes from. You can break stuff apart. Yeah. True enough. True enough. I'm always get a bit careless around this massive fuel tank. And almost always end up with it going boom. Let's try not to have that happen today. It's this one that's evil. Because, like, if you... There we go. It's not difficult to find the right spot to cut it. It's just, you know, it's easy if you've been shipbreaking for quite a long time. It's easy to just get careless. Okay. So I think that's free now. Yeah, all those are free. Right. I don't think we're going to be able to get that out right now. I suppose we could just melt this damn thing, but... The cage is going to hold it in place anyway. Usually I wouldn't get that out till the end anyway. I just don't like having it there because too much can go wrong. But this is low level. It's fairly low level javelin, so there aren't any demo charge cut points, so we're good. And that's all depressed already, so we can take that off. Don't need that. Soup Pop. Welcome to the arcade. I watched your video on this game a few months ago. How are the new updates feeling for you? I loved the new updates when they came along. The only thing I didn't care for much when they released the final release of the game was that they dumbed the game down a bit. Like, it's reaching the end of the game. It doesn't seem like it to people who are just watching it on here because I've had so many breaks with the cold and stuff like that. But if you're just playing the game through when you've got a few hours, the end of the game, the end of the story comes so fast now. Like, so fast. And it really, really did seem like and clearing off your debt and everything seemed like a huge, huge chore before. And it was an achievement to get there. You just really felt like you'd achieved something if you managed to pay off $1.25 billion of debt. But now, not so much. Other than that, though, I kind of like a lot of the changes that they made, but they've just tweaked it again. And of course, that's reintroduced a lot of the little bugs that we had before. Which is not ideal, but, you know, it's not the end of the world. They're not game-breaking. I've just been explaining, one of the things that's happened on my other account is that when I've paid off my debt, it's actually started to, instead of showing minus figures like it used to, the debt is actually, once it reached 0, it started to go back up with every amount that I paid off. So I'm not terribly impressed by that, but I think it actually does consider you to be in plus figures, but it doesn't show you as debt paid off anymore now. So, you know, it doesn't show a minus figure like it used to. So I don't know if that's a glitch or a permanent thing or what, but where it used to show a minus figure once you got there, now it reaches 0, then it starts going, the amount of money you pull off a ship, it just adds it back on to your debt. It's well dodgy. Boosh. We don't really need... Okay.
Credits awarded.
Oh, crap. haven't actually checked to see if there's any O2 on the ship. Come on. Yeah, there might be O2 on the ship. I haven't checked. Let's just go back. Let's go back to the kiosk and buy some, I guess. Like the plebs do. O2! Thruster fuel. Tethers. Yeah? You know the song, but not the ad. It wasn't an ad, it was a whole stand-up. Yeah, no. I'm aware of that, but here in the UK, we had... I'm aware it was part of his stand-up routine, but here in the UK, they actually put it on TV, on primetime TV, as like an ad to dissuade people from drink driving, like where he sat in the back of the car and the dad's had a few drinks and he's drinking with his kids in the back and stuff like that. And so, yeah. Yeah, I just wondered if you got the ad. I know that you'd have had the stand-up bit.
Salvage registered. Transferring credits.
All right. Boink.
You got 5 minutes remaining in your shift, Cutter.
Thanks, Weaver.
Weaver out.
Oh, man. Either sort of next week or the week after, when we get to the end of the story. Doesn't matter. I can't. Never mind. It's one of those things you want to explain to people something, but then you can't without actually realizing you're giving people minor spoilers. So let's not do that. Forget I said anything.
Credit applied.
Boosh. Take off that buckle. Come on. Yoink. Oh, hello.
Salvage deposited. Applying credit to account.
You have to get the timing right on that. The number of times I've gotten a little component like that, reeled it in, swapped over to press the X button on if you're doing a control. If you're using a controller. If you're on a PC, it's different. But swapped over to. Obviously I'm on a PC, but you know what I mean. If we're using mouse and keyboard instead of a controller.
Salvage secured.
And I've reeled it in and then pressed X to pick the thing up and blasted it off through the barge or into space or something. We don't need that cut from there. That should be enough. So watching your video, I sold on playing this game after I get a new PC. It's just... I was telling Pilot, who's in the chat there, I was talking to him about it the other day, and because, I've been playing this game 2 years now and playing it since it first released into early access. And as I said to him, it's one of those... There are so many cool things about this game, little things that you kind of don't think of, like, when you're in the middle of a shift and the rail gate goes off, when you see the Polaris, the super freighter pulls up and everything goes dark, and if you happen to be pointing at it, everything rattles and the shadow comes as it comes to collect all the stuff you've been salvaging over the weeks, and was Weaver cloned with extra legs or something? You can destroy only specific parts. So you can destroy most things, right? You can't, like nanocarbon here, yeah? Me. See? If I fire at the nanocarbon, you can't. Now, when this game first released, on the equipment upgrades that you can get back in the hab, you used to be able to upgrade the cut level of the split saw so that it would cut through ever more dense materials. So eventually it would cut through nanocarbon, right? So the toughest part of the skin of the ship, eventually it would cut straight through it. But the problem was, once you got the upgrade, there was no way to remove it. You couldn't roll it back, so you were stuck with that. And although that sounds great, it actually caused more problems, because when you're inside the ship and you want to use the split saw to quickly saw through a cut point or a piece of aluminium or something like that, right? It would just keep on cutting. So it wouldn't just cut through that, it would cut through the nanocarbon panel, and you'd end up with, instead of a nanocarbon panel that you could remove in one chunk and go, right, process that, and it was worth hundreds of thousands, what you ended up with was about 15 or 16 tiny little pieces floating about. And it just created, and if there was something explosive on the other side where the nanocarbon wall would stop the split saw, now it wouldn't. And you'd open into the vacuum of space. You could lead to explosive decompression. It came with all sorts of problems. So people wanted, as soon as they acquired the upgrade, they said, no, that's useless. Turn it off. But there was no way to get rid of it once you had it completely installed. So they've done away with that now. There is no upgrade for the split saw now that can cut through nanocarbon. So the nanocarbon is one of the only things you can't cut through. You can cut through this, look. The aero bridge. It's a bit of a pain cutting it so that it just completely falls away. You'll know when I have done, because it... Oh, there we go. Yeah, see? Comes into pieces, which is not always helpful. But that's simple enough. But yeah, you can cut through most things at some point. But the point of the game, really, to help you do it all correctly, is that you don't cut through things that you want to stay there. Like, you learn to cut down ships so that you learn which way it's easier to do it. So what to cut through and what not. Even if you can cut through something, don't always do it, because sometimes it'll make your job a lot more difficult. And that's one of the things I love about this game, is that after a while, the efficiency with which you can cut down a ship, because they're all different.
If you got something cooking, now's the time to plate it. Bring it to the table.
Oh, shut up with your stupid little sayings, Weaver. Sorry, Weaver, I can't. No, sorry. And in answer to that question, you never do find out... Wow, we are really low level, aren't we? You never really do find out what Weaver's cloning accident was. I can honestly say I finished the story and, like, you never find that out, no. Come on, there we go. So yeah, like the efficiency, learning, it's the first, it's the first game, and I know this sounds like a negative point, but it's the first game, so not Teardown in Space, no, not Teardown in Space, but I definitely want to play Teardown at some point on the stream. Now that I've got the PC that's capable of doing it, and I've got a dual PC set up, I do want to play Teardown on the stream at some point. Because they've actually added quite a lot since I was last in Teardown. But, there's so much coming up with the house move, and, like, when Saints Row comes along, we'll be playing that, and obviously next year we'll be doing Starfield as soon as it gets here. But yeah, it sounds like a negative thing, but this is the first game, the only game I've ever played where, after a while, it feels like a job, right? An actual job, but like an enjoyable job. It feels like a job where I feel at the end of a really efficient shift that I feel like I've done a good job. Like, I'm proud of myself and I know that I'm good at it. And it's a weird feeling for a video game. Oh, we didn't do so well there.
Good morning, Cutter 9346-52. Today's weather report, clear and sunny, with a high of minus 270 degrees.
Yeah. We didn't pick up anything useful, did we? Didn't pick up any of those things for the... No. All right. Equipment. Forget any? Oh, yeah. Let's repair that. Heat capacity upgrade, I think, will be a useful thing. Oh, I haven't got any... I've been a bit cavalier with the repair kits there. Never mind. Let's carry on.
You doing okay, Kai?
Oh, yeah. Thinking, I guess. Looking at Earth. Hard to imagine how much life used to live on it.
Can't fixate on the past, kid.
Yeah. You know, if my life had been different, I wouldn't be up here. I'd be working with animals.
Well, there's a circuit board.
Well, nature in general. Maybe an ecologist or biologist. Not sure what they do, but I think I'd like it. Just imagine what Earth must have been like a couple hundred years ago. Full of life.
Animal husbandry ain't quite the same, but it might scratch that itch. Something to consider at least when you finish here.
Yeah. Thanks, Dee Dee. I'll keep that in mind when I finish.
Ah. Nope. No. So, like on these early ships, like, you know, it seems fairly sort of mindless a lot of the time because it just seems like I'm chopping away anything. But there is, trust me, there is method to my madness. But when we get onto the big geckos and stuff like that with the really big reactors and where there's a lot of stuff going in on there, you'll see why I enjoy cutting those down so much. But, who puts a light there? Kind of an idiot. Get off. Stupid thing. Yeah, you'll see why I enjoy cutting those down. Because, yeah, it does seem, when you're watching someone, I guess, who's done this for a while, a lot of it does kind of seem haphazard. But there is a reason for everything you do and the order that you do it all in. Because if you do it in the wrong order, you create all sorts of problems for yourself. And particularly when you're on the bigger geckos, you've really got to watch because you've got your upgrades then, so you've got a much greater range on like your split saw and your stinger. So if you don't watch what you're doing, you cut through a coolant line, and not only does that like flash freeze half the stuff in the ship that's supposed to be valuable and now isn't because you flash frozen it, but it also deprives the reactor of coolant, and the reactor then goes into meltdown. And if you're not really concentrating, you've then got to really quickly find out where the reactor is. Because, like, if you do that accidentally too early on, you might not even know where the reactor is, and it's going into meltdown, and you're like, oh, shit. Okay, now I've got to get that reactor out of the ship fast, and I haven't even cut any of the panels off the outside, so not only can I not get it out, but I don't even know where it is. You know, you get all sorts of problems if you're not careful. Oh, hello. Hello. I'll have that. I'll have that. Boosh. I think Starfield feels bland. I don't know. I mean, I haven't played it yet, have I? So, I mean, if it's anything really, for me, if it's anything like any other Bethesda RPG, I'll have fun playing it anyway. I know I will. Bugs or not. But, you know, I guess it depends what you're after from it.
Processor deposit accepted. Credits awarded.
Shit. Where'd that go? There we go. Did I bet I've just... No.
Salvage deposit
No,
registered.
don't think so.
Account credited.
Come on, tell me I took that off. Yeah, we're good. We're good, we're good. I thought I'd left the airlock console on the outside of there, so I thought I just incinerated like 80 grand's worth of cash, but what about this one? Nope, we're good. Ah! See? That's what happens when you get careless. That could have been me in the processor or the furnace. I keep salvaging these ladders, but they're actually one of the most worthless things on the ship, so...
Credits deposited.
It's worth about 100 credits, I think. 170 credits or something. Wait, airlock. Airlock console. Come on. All day. Yeah, 102 credits. Look at that. Worthless. What a waste of time.
Accepted for processing.
With a similar feel to Shipbreaker. Excuse me. Not with a similar feel to Shipbreaker, Vitaly, no, because one of the things I like about it is I honestly, and I think a lot of reviews of Shipbreaker have said the same thing, like there isn't anything like Shipbreaker out there that I can think of. There is no other game quite like it that I'm aware of, and it's one of the only games I can think of that you can say that about, that it's, at this point in time, so unique that there really isn't anything quite like it out there. But maybe the people in the chat can come up with something. It has its roots. I mean, Shipbreaker is not part of the Homeworld universe, but the original idea for the Shipbreaker game was to be set in the Homeworld universe. So it has its roots in the Homeworld universe, but of course the Homeworld games are RTS games, so nothing like this, but yeah, it has its roots. Its genesis, I guess you could say, is in the Homeworld universe, but it doesn't take place in the Homeworld universe. It's just that's what kind of gave rise to the idea of the game in the first place for BBI. Okay. But yeah, I can't really think of anything else that's quite like it. That's one of the things that attracted me to the game, is that it's one of the most unique gaming experiences. Ooh. Right, so this is one of the reasons why you want to upgrade your heat capacity. Because the easiest way to do this... come on. Right, so the easiest way to do this, of course, is to just blast everything through the bottom of the thing. Because that aluminium panel that I just incinerated, I know it says, don't do that, but trust me, it saves you so much time. It is not worth trying to save that little aluminium panel. It's much more valuable to be able to just pull all this out and blast it through the floor. Now, that's especially true when you get onto the Gecko station hoppers. The big Gecko's passenger liners have got like hundreds of seats and computer terminals in them, and you're in there for like 20 minutes trying to pull all these damn things out. So if you had to take them out through the airlocks, it'd take you about 5 shifts just to get rid of all the stuff that's in the passenger compartment. So the easiest way to do it is melt through or cut through the floor. Once you've done everything else, once you've removed the outer shell, cut through the floor. So anything else on the outside of this now?
Credits transferred.
Yeah, cut through or melt through the floor, and then send it all. Okay. Let's pull that out over there. Oh crap! Why is that still attached? Missed something. I have missed something. Ah, there we go. Okay, that can go there. No. There we go.
Salvage registered. Transferring credits.
No. Back in oxygen. Oxygen's for wimps. Okay. Alright, more O2. Whee! Oops. Oh, goddamn. Ugh. Thrusters are so crap at this level.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded. Oxygen level stabilizing. Material accepted. Credits transferred.
Right, now we can start pulling some of this crap out.
Salvage secured. Applying credit.
Shit.
Cutter, you're
Wait.
fixing to dot the I's and cross the T's. You got about 5 minutes to do it. Weaver out.
Yes, thank you, Weaver. I hate this tangled mess that you get in here. With these, this is one of the things about the javelins I don't care for. These big fuel javelins, anyway. And that push is absolutely terrible at this level. It's really difficult to come back, like any game, it's really difficult to come back to a much earlier version when you've been playing at the higher levels and you've got all the upgrades and things. Because everything seems so slow. It's like going back and playing Skyrim and you've got
Deposit accepted for process.
you've got an iron sword and a leather hat. After you've completed the game, you go back to the beginning, you've got a little iron sword and a leather hat. What games I'm going to play next on stream? Well, we're definitely going to play some more Sniper Elite, I think. Depending on what the guys are doing and how often we can sort of get together to do it. We've got Ember, I guess, to play through, which is much more of a fun kind of stupid game. And we've got Grounded, which we haven't played for a while on stream. Right, let's pull this damn thing out. Get rid of this fucking fuel canister. I hate this thing. Careful. Woo. Down it goes. There we go. That'll be fine. I probably am going to look at playing some Teardown on stream at some point, which is a lot of fun, which is if you're not familiar with it, it's a voxel-based total destruction heist game. So, you know, the entire environment is destructible, which makes it quite heavy to run. Which is why another reason... Oh, no, that's too heavy. Ugh. There's another one of the reasons that I had to wait until now. Why is that still attacked? Really? Come on. You want to make your mind up with these things. Obviously, yeah, we'll be playing Starfield when that comes along. I'll be playing Saints Row when that comes in August. But I'll be in hopefully, we'll be in a new house by then. So, you know, if everything goes well. Or that came off, the thruster cap came off. There we go. In a second, hang on, I'll have a look. I've got a list somewhere of all the games that I was planning on looking at in the next... I'll have a look at this, because these are games that I kind of checked out. And this isn't all of them, but this is just some... When the Summer Games Fest was on, I made a list of some of these. So, Deceive Incorporated, I wanted to have a look at that. That looked really, really fun. And that was probably going to be something that I played with the guys. I keep calling them the guys because we do actually have a new name now for our little group. But until I've got the artwork and stuff done, I don't want to shout it out. So, Deceive Incorporated, which is a weird little, looks like a fun, weird little spy kind of game. It's a deception thing. We'll be playing probably when it comes up to like Christmas time. We're playing Project Winter. And we always have for special occasions, sometimes Halloween, sometimes Christmas and stuff like that. We play the social deception game Project Winter, and because you can play that with like 8 players. So I get a lot of other YouTubers and people like Roxy from Sexy Biscuit, and our good friend Spiff will quite often come and join us for that. And I think Dwight came to join us for one of them, and Richard will be there, and probably Pilot and people like that. Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed is definitely one that we're going to play as the group, the guys. Kerbal Space Program 2 is coming next year, of course. I don't know whether I'm going to stream that or not. We'll see. Starfield, I definitely will be. Saints Row, which comes in August, I'll definitely be playing. I'll try probably to get some Teardown played on stream. But there's like a whole bunch of games, but I'll definitely be doing more. We'll be playing more of the Sniper Elite, but I'll be doing it once I've finished. I think, I'll probably occasionally play a co-op one. Probably playing more Chivalry. We're probably playing more Chivalry 2, because I haven't played that on stream for a while. And we do have a lot of fun playing that, so I'll probably be playing more Chivalry 2.
Time to start wrapping things up.
And I always try to stress, I'm not especially good at Chivalry 2, but it's one of those games that, it's like sex or golf. It doesn't really matter how good at you. You don't have to be good at it to enjoy it. So yeah, we're playing more of that, and then there's just a whole bunch of little games. Also, I've got to finish off the game that I started before I moved house. The game that I started playing, which will only take a couple of streams to complete, was Far Changing Tides, which is the sequel to Far Lone Sails, which I played all the way through on stream. So we'll be doing that. Where is the... Oh, shit, it's there. Alright, I guess we're doing that when we come back out in a minute. Ooh, there we go. Just got that part. If you simply shift what you define as good, I'm good at shift too. So, yeah. We have a little group of... So we have a little sort of clique. Occasionally, I will play with the odd person from, the odd viewer. Usually one that I've known for a while, because generally I don't play with people I don't know particularly well, because I get really, really anxious about playing with people online. But the regular group that we have is me, Pilot, who you can see in the chat there, HJ, who's... I don't know if he's still in the chat. He's there somewhere. And Richard, who's like one of my oldest friends in the world, Copper Octopus. But yeah, I'll hey, there's Spiff, look. We were just talking about you. We're talking about whether you'll be joining us for this year's Project Winter stream, whenever that's going to be. So yeah, Copper Octopus. If you're not familiar with all these people, there's HJ. HJ, can you do me a favour and throw up the Discord link for anybody that's in here that might not be in the Knights Arcade Discord yet? I hope so. Yes. Excellent. See? Yeah, if you can throw up the Discord link, because my Discord button still doesn't work. I have got to get onto Elgato about that and say, why do the YouTube commands not work anymore? Of course. Excellent. Yeah, so if you're not in the Discord and you want to keep up with the community and you want to see what's coming up and keep an eye on what's happening, jump across to the Discord. Feel free, join the community, carry on chatting in there. Let's give Spiff a norm. Cheers, HJ. But yeah, the fellas have been mentioning Grounded to me the last few days.
Pattern deviation nominal. Have a good day.
And of course, Sea of Thieves. We do occasionally. We don't do it very often on stream, but occasionally we'll go out into Sea of Thieves just to make complete fools of ourselves, because at that game, we really do suck. And of course, now my ship, which I've had the same on Sea of Thieves for years.
Hi, don't worry. Dr. Shippy's here to fix your ship.
Very soon, I'll be able to put the name of my ship actually on the ship and own the damn thing, finally, in Sea of Thieves. Best funny pictures channel of any Discord I've been in as well. Mad Bunny! Hey, welcome. Welcome back. And Corvo. There we go. Let's get some norms in there for our regulars. Do we put any stickers on? We got any new interesting stickers? No, we put that one on, maybe. Alright, we'll put it there then, I guess. Not really where I wanted to put it, but whatever. I got a mini-me sticker there. We put that there. No, why does it... Alright, whatever. That's fine. I don't think I need to... Should we upgrade any of these? Probably that one would be very handy. Boink. Yeah, I think the pictures and memes channel of my Discord server is probably the busiest channel in the server. It's the one that most often gets posted to. Right, let's continue. Let's carry on. Hal's been really quiet so far, hasn't he? I think I've got to go up to level 10. Oh, here he is, look.
Efficiency is a measure of discipline. Productivity is a measure of skill. Output is a measure of drive. Discipline, drive, skill, effort, ambition, strategy, autonomy, integrity, positivity, innovation. I hope what I'm saying is clear. Roads out.
The only thing I really like about Hal is I think they've designed him really well as like your classic clueless middle management asshole who speaks in fridge magnet. Those people drive me bananas. So yeah, I think he's been well designed. Let's get rid of this reactor. Level 1 reactors, easy peasy. They're not really difficult. Level 2, they can sometimes be a bit tricky. Let's get rid of that.
Object
That.
transferring credits.
No, don't attach to the... Okay.
Salvage goal achieved. Rewards allocated.
Whoa! Don't want to get crushed. We got all of that out there. There we go. We are good. We're good. Come on. No! Damn thing got hung up on the side there now.
Object accepted for processing.
I think it'll be alright. It'll be alright. Pop. How much more of this we got?
Applying credit.
Okay, that's right.
Credits awarded.
Okay. Down you go. Down you go. Right.
Salvage deposit secured.
Shit. Okay. A lot of people don't salvage the glass. It's actually worth quite a lot. So, you know, you want your money's worth. There you go. 114,000 credits, that piece of glass. Whereas these bits, not worth quite so much, and it's easier to get all this crap out if you just melt one of these. Just melt one or two of those out of the way. And then it's much easier to just pull this stuff out. Rather than trying to guide every single one of them through the...
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
These fuel pipes are really, really heavy since, like, a lot of the later updates. Okay. Oh, unless that happens, of course.
Processing object.
Look at that. See? They still got this daft thing. You can't, like, if I try to turn that on my... I mean, I probably can now, because it's quite light, but...
Applying credit.
Stop. See, I can't stop it from turning. But if you grab hold of one of those... of something else that's attached to it, for example... See? If I use that to clatter against that side, that will turn the entire thing. It's... yeah... It's one of the things they still haven't got quite right, I don't think.
Salvage deposit registered. Account credited.
No, no, no. Come on. Boing.
Secured. Credits deposited.
Make sure you get all your consoles off. Airlock consoles and door consoles, because they're worth quite a lot of money. Lights, however, like that, really aren't. See, I have 3,500 credits, which sounds like a lot, but trust me, it's really nothing. In this game, that's it's barely worth the time necessary to take those off. But again, as I've said many times, unfortunately, I'm speaking as an old Shipbreaker racer, like I used to do the race. And in the race, every second counts. So 3,500 credits just aren't worth the time. It's not worth it. Like, the time that it takes will cost you way more money than taking those off, which is not necessarily true in the regular game like this, but... Oh, look, there's a filter. Always look out for these panels, because you think all of this now wants to go in the furnace, but occasionally you'll find a little filter like that. Melt that area around it, and then this wants to go in the barge. The air filter is worth quite a lot more than all of that hull put together. There you go.
Salvage registered.
Hey, Kitters! How you doing, Kitters? Definitely gets a note. How you doing, Kitters? Now that the full game is out, do you think you'll do a tips guide or an updated guide for ship types? I would love to, honestly. I'd love to do that, because it is one of my favorite games. I mean, this is one of my favorite games of all time. You know, I haven't made any secret about that on the channel. I bang on about this game as often as I can. I just love it. I love everything about the game. So I would love to do that, but unfortunately, within the next between 4 and 8 weeks from now, I would guess. Like, we still don't really know. We haven't got a completion date, but between 4 to 8 weeks from now, I'll be moving house again. I do want to get an ultimate review done for Shipbreaker, so I want to get that out hopefully before we go. And that isn't really, with everything we've got to do, that's not going to leave me with a lot of time. And when I come back, I've then got to sort of panic to get back in time to start doing Saints Row, because I really want to get in on the ground floor with the new Saints Row, with the Saints Row reboot and stuff. And so time is not really on my side at the moment with things like that. But I certainly would love to do that, and I might well do it at some point. And of course, you know, Elliot Hudson has said, and other devs of the game have said, that they haven't finished putting ships into the game yet. There are probably going to be new ships. Just, they said there weren't going to be any more before the main release, but now the game's out, they have said that they probably will put new ships in post-launch at some point. And then, of course, there's going to be the console release at a later time. So yeah, there's plenty of time to do stuff like that. So I probably will at some point, because I can't... there we go. I think that might be a 95... That might be a 95%. Look at it coming apart in the furnace. I love that. Oh, look, there's the Polaris. I didn't even notice that thing pull up. Is Railgate charging or anything? No. I just thought, because the thing is now about these shifts is that whether you're out in the yard for 10 seconds or the full 15-minute shift, it's going to cost you the same amount of money, right? So if I'm going to do any sightseeing and looking around, now that I've completely wiped that ship out, it's going to cost me the same amount of money to go back into the hab now as it will do in 7 minutes from now. So if we're going to do any sightseeing, now's the time. I mean, you can't get very far outside the bay, because before it says you're exceeding your work area, you're getting beyond the limits of your work area. Come back inside, please. She'll give me a warning in a second. Look, there's exiting work area. Look, there's Beulah, the little armadillo, hanging on the outside of the hab there. There's another cutter's bay. There you go. Re-entering work area. But yeah, that is the Polaris super freighter. And every now and again, it just turns up and it picks up stuff from the conveyor. There it goes. I love that. I love the sound of this massive, massive super freighter just pulling away from the bay. Of course, now we're low on O2, so now we need goddamn oxygen. GW's here! GW! And Gegs. Come on, let's get some norms out there. Norm, and another one. But yeah, it doesn't exactly move at light speed, that thing, so it'll take a while. Alright, let's get back to the kiosk, quick. Before I die. Oh, I don't need to buy any O2, I can just go straight back in, can't I now? Whoop. Wheep. Yes. Boom. I can wait for 2 minutes and the whole rest of the world turns up. I know, right? Rank 10. Okay, so now maybe some other stuff will start to happen with Hal and the rest of the gang. Did I unlock anything? I don't think I did.
Cutter 9346-52. Your designated sleep.
Why is the chat bar so far down I can only see a third of the video? I don't know. That's weird. Go over to YouTube for a moment. No? I don't know. I have no idea, Gigs. Sorry, can't tell you. I've cleared hazard level 6 now, so ECUs. So now we get class 2 reactors. So that's cool. So I can show you. We can disassemble 1 or 2 of those now. Red Seal accredited, rank 10.
Good news, Cutter. You've earned clearance to the next hazard level. This means you'll be getting class 2 reactors now. Gnarly things. We'll start training when you're ready, and I'll walk you through them.
Oh, they're not so bad. You seen one reactor, you seen them all, I think.
This ain't really that simple.
Yeah, I got a tip for you there, newbie. Don't blow it up.
Cutter, like I said, let me know when you're ready to start training.
Don't take too long.
Our friendly Link's administrator, Hal Rhodes. He's an asshole. Let's get rid of these. This is just more. It's lore about the Paulsons. Oh, that's about the ECUs, which we can now pull out. And class 2 reactors. I love pulling out class 2 reactors because they're always a lot of fun. Not only that, but they're worth a fortune. A class 2 reactor's worth about 5 million credits. Just for the reactor. Right, let's... Oh, I haven't got many repair kits. Oh, hang on. 43. Stinger range. Split saw range. Oh, yes, please. I want that. Good. There we go. That's what we're getting. Right, let's have a look what we got now. I never did find those. I never did pick up any wires out there, did I? I must have blasted them into the furnace from something. Oh, not a training ship. No, come on. Ugh. Alright. I hate these. Is this game on Xbox? It is not on console yet, GW, no. It is coming to console, but they haven't given us a date yet as to when. So it is coming to console.
Time to extract your first Class 2 reactor. This one's not quite as simple.
I know.
And barge it, right? Pretty straight.
The thing you should know about Hal Rhodes, by the way, who's giving us all this, he's an administrator, and he's never been a shipbreaker. So he's telling you to do all these... I mean, you'll see why he becomes really irritating, but he's designed that way.
Well, I'm sure head office would rather the reactor was in one piece. Pulling this beast without proper prep is a sure way to print yourself a receipt for a new spare.
Correct.
Sure. Prep. When you're on the clock, don't forget.
As I was saying, like any reactor, it'll melt down as soon as it's disconnected from its housing. And these Class 2s will melt down mighty quick unless you do two things first. First, release the connection to the thrusters. Second, remove the coolant from the ship's Environmental Control Unit, or ECU.
Or just cut a hole, pull it, and barge it.
Just make sure you clear an extraction route before doing anything, Cutter.
God, it's another goddamn javelin as well.
Mess with the ECU coolant, that reactor will enter a controlled meltdown. Oh, and if you're having trouble finding everything, try using the systems mode of your scanner.
So, you know, Weaver's telling me a load of stuff that I already know, of course, because once you've played this for 2 years, you've done enough Class 2 reactors. But you see the task list that we've got on screen now on the left, right? Salvage Class 2 reactor, release ECU coolant, release thrusters. So that task list before... Oops. This thing, the bar that you've got on there, right? So this is the salvage bar now, where it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are the different rewards that you get at each level. Repair kit, 46 mastery points, 37 links tokens, and so on at level 5. And so that is what they have now. But when I started playing this game, they had what they called work orders, which were a bit like that task list. So every ship you went out to, every ship, not just training ships, every ship you would go out to would have a bunch of tasks for you to complete, and if you completed those, you got like extra links tokens and bonuses and stuff like that. And I actually really liked that. It's one of the things I wish they hadn't sort of done away with, but I don't really, because this is a training ship, they don't really care if I leave this half done. All they really want me to do is get rid of the reactor. But there's a big fuel tank attached to the ass end of this thing, and the reactor starts to melt down, and let's just go and see if we can pull it out. So there's ECU, look.
Applying credit.
And with ECU, you just pull this door off. Choink. Pull the door off, right? And there's coolant inside, right? But the second... So you can take one of these, look. Right? No problem. And you can even take a second one. But the second you pull the third one, meaning there is no coolant going to the reactor will go into meltdown. Shit. Should have checked that. Never mind. No damage done by the looks of it. So there's the reactor. And I'll show you. So quite often with these, I have some really strange ways of doing these. This one should be okay because the plating should just come straight off. It shouldn't be really difficult. There's nothing really major about it that's going to cause a massive problem. But the first thing we want to do is shut off the fuel to the thruster. Okay. So shut that down. cut these. There we go. Make a hole. Okay. Let's pull this thing out. On some of the javelins, what I quite often do, I don't think it'll be necessary with this one, but what I quite often, I have a bit of a peculiar way of removing the reactors. When the reactor is on its side, or if I can get enough. If I can pull this panel off, see, this one is the one that's a bit of a pain. But if I pull that panel off, what I'll quite often do is I'll release the ECU and everything, and I'll cut all the cut points of the ECU, which is connected to by a coolant pipe to the reactor, and then I'll just slowly pull the entire reactor and the ECU out of the ass end of the ship, all in one piece, so that I've got a clear run down to the barge, so that, you know, if the reactor decides to suddenly start melting down really fast, we haven't got any issues. But it shouldn't be necessary on this to do that. Well, it's never really necessary to do that, but I like doing it that way. Well, shit. Okay. Be really careful when you're cutting. If you cut through the coolant line or the fuel line, as I could easily have done just there, dumbass. That you can have a really bad day if you do that. It's a quick way to have a really bad day. Accidentally cutting through the coolant line. I have to step away. I have to date to wrestle some blackberry bushes into submission. All right, Spiff. Good luck with the blackberry bushes. Right. Wait. There we go. Get rid of that thing. Oh, crap. I didn't pull off the... Oh, never mind. See? That's carelessness. I didn't pull off the airlock console, so I just lost that. That's about 80 grand worth of credits, but this is only a training ship, so they're not really that bothered about it.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Boom. Ah! Didn't cut through that. See, that blasted me away there because I hadn't cut through this. So basically that whole thing was as one. So instead of doing that and pushing that panel away as it should have, it tried to blast both those panels at once, which of course were a lot heavier than me and all my equipment. And that's great. You know, if you've been blasted up there, it's not a massive problem. But if you've been blasted against the ass end of the bay, for example, you can smack your head up. Like, you can really, really do yourself a lot of damage and end up using a spare. Or the worst one, of course, is to blast yourself backwards into the furnace. The only good side about that is if you do that 5 times, you get a sticker for it. So that's nice, isn't it? Die 5 times to the furnace god and you get a sticker. Oh, shit. And I just accidentally... See? That was stupid. I could have torn through the coolant line there. Fortunately, I did not.
Valuable object accepted for processing.
Oops. Right, there we go. So now, let me just see if I can get that clear. Just for the sake of being clean. Now, depending on how sort of anally retentive you want to be about this. What? Let me just expose the reactor. So the first thing that... Wait. See? All in steps. Just to clear as much space and leave as few obstacles as you can for the reactor, right? Just get rid of this. If you can cut it as close to there as you can. Cut off that ring. Because then you can salvage this whole bit here. Okay, there we go. So get rid of that. Now, pull off these plates. Now you can pull off as many of these as you want, as long as you leave one. Oops. So pull off these plates, and as long as you leave one, you're all right. The reason you leave one is because, I mean, I don't usually need to pull off that many, but these plates are not only guarding the reactor, but they are what attaches the reactor mounting plates to one another. So if you pull off all of these plates, that mounting plate will come separate, will come away from that mounting plate, and the reactor will start to melt down. So as long as you leave one, you're okay. Right? Now, the coolant line, this reactor shouldn't be that much of a problem. Because now you get so much time now before the reactor melts down, realistically, I could just pull that reactor out and blast it down to the barge, right? It's quite often what I do on the easier ones. You don't absolutely need to release the coolant first, but it's safer. If you disengage the coolant before taking the reactor, it just means you've got more time before the reactor melts down, right? And the best way to do that, though, because once you release that last... Oh, sorry, I've just set myself on fire. I let my cutter overheat because I wasn't paying attention. There we go. So, once you... There we go. Oh, God, it's got a door in it. That's... Yeah, the doors still behave very weirdly. Yoink. So, I do that to clear myself enough space. Although, you know, as I say, I don't usually do that anyway, because I usually just pull the reactor out. But since they want, if you look at the task list, it's an optional thing, but they want us to release the ECU coolant before we take the reactor, right? So that's fine. Just take that off. Right. So, we take the back one first.
Deposit confirmed. Applying credit.
Right, and all we got to do is disconnect that one. So, back yourself out to a place where you can still see it. So you've got... There you go. Now the reactor's gone into meltdown. So now pull it out.
Great work, Cutter. Handling both the thrusters
And fire it down to the barge. There you go. Done.
Well, I'll be.
Reactor salvaged.
Well done, Cutter.
4,062,000 and something credits.
Gonna work on improving the time.
Shut up, Hal.
We're done with training. We'll leave you be now. Great work today, Cutter.
The other thing about cutting out these walls is it makes it easier to pull out the ECU. Is that attached to the floor? Oh no, it's attached to the... Just burn that off now. Right, so now the ECU will come out easily, and the ECU is worth quite a bit as well. Or did I say... Didn't I see there was a... Was a rod or something in there? Oh, it's stuck on the inside, so we're not getting that out. So that's one of the things that you can actually salvage. Because bear in mind, as I said before...
Take a look at that railgate.
The railgate's about to fire, look.
Secured. Account credit applied.
Boom.
What a beauty. You know, no matter how many times I see that old railgate fire, it never ceases to amaze me. Could be you on there one day.
There you go. So the railgate is what is like, you know, if you're familiar with Mass Effect, it's like a mass relay. It's the same thing, really. It's basically ships go through that and are fired, basically propelled at extremely high speeds into the deeper solar system. So now we want to separate these bits. Let's cut that from there. You don't have to, they're all going to the same place. You could actually just send that in there with the pipe, but it's a bit easier to sort of handle if you get rid of the coolant pipe first.
Processing valuable objects. Credits awarded.
When you get to big sort of geckos, this coolant pipe quite often, like, so that coolant pipe was quite close to the reactor, but when you get to the larger geckos, that coolant pipe will run the entire length of the ship, which can be a bit of an issue if you don't watch what you're doing. Because everywhere that you cut something on the ship, there's a coolant pipe running underneath you. But, you know, you'll see that. The ships get harder as you go along. We're still relatively low level here. Oops. Boink. Oh, there.
Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded. Salvage accepted. Credits applied.
Okay.
Salvage deposit.
So this is a training ship. There's no real reason that I need to stick around and do any of this other stuff other than making money. It's not going to get me any extra points or anything now. Let's send that air filter down. My reservation. What? Let me know how it is. I'm thinking of buying one as well.
Transferring credits.
Pull all this crap out.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Yeah, since I've got another 10 minutes, I might as well just use this shift at least. So those... you see me removing those little bottles and things.
Credits applied.
Little bottles and food packets. They aren't worth anything at all when you fire them into the furnace, but there's a sticker that you can get. It's just basically just like bragging rights to say you've salvaged so many of these things, right? And it used to be worthwhile getting because it was like you had to salvage 100. But now, again, like most other things in this game, they've dumbed it down, so now you only have to get 15. You have to salvage 15 of them to get the bottle, but it used to be 100. To get the sticker, rather. Now, these, you can see, these cut points here, because they're next to this really, really large fuel tank, right? This is fine. You can just burn these away, right? But this is only on the really lower level javelins. When you get to the harder ones, the higher up level javelins, all these cut points like this, they're black, predominantly black cut points, which means they are demo charge only cut points, which means you can't cut through them with the stinger or the split saw. You have to plant demo charges on them and detonate them, and they are right next to this fuel tank. So, you know, things get a little bit hairy as you go along. By the way, I'm doing a lot of this without really explaining things. So let me just take that off there, right? So there are two ways to push something down to the barge, right? Well, I mean, you can tether it. So there's several ways. You can tether it down to the barge, but with something that small, you would never do that, right? So you see me using tethers, like, you know, you put a tether on and you tether it to wherever it wants to go, right? We don't want to do that, so we cancel that out, right? But with stuff like this, you can either fire it down to the barge by hitting the X, boom, if you're on a controller, right? Or you can use a charge push and do it. Or you'll quite often see me doing this, which is to hold onto it and then fire it down to the barge. The difference is, if you just press this and fire it, oops, if you just fire down to the barge without attaching anything, without attaching it to the tether, to the grapple, that will fire. It basically will, that force push, if you like, will act on anything within that little sphere at the center of the screen. So anything that's there will just get blasted down by that charge. Whereas if you attach with the grapple before you do it, it will only affect the thing that you're grappled onto. Which is why sometimes I can be on the other side of something like that, grab a thing, move it down, and charge it to the barge without affecting anything else. Because if you... So, like, watch. So, like, if I came through here with this, right? Yes, I'm on the other side of this thing, but if I charge that, it only affects that thing. Whereas if I was to... I'm not going to do it because the fuel tank will explode, because this will rupture the tank and it'll go boom. But if I just charge press that once without grappling onto it first, it will just... Oh, great, that's clever.
Airlock pressurizing.
Remove the airlock console for an airlock I needed to get through, so... Oh, look. A filter! Steam Deck SK. Ah, I see. Steam Deck. Is the game full priced? This game, as far as I'm aware, I've had it since early access, so I didn't pay full price for it, but... Okay, that was stupid. So what I did there was I wasn't concentrating, and I cut away the wall, forgetting that I was in a pressurized compartment. So I inadvertently caused explosive decompression there, which is not really what you want to do.
Salvage deposited. Applying credit to account.
Luckily, it didn't do any major damage, but you can see how it's pushed the ship all out of kilter. Look. And it's blown a bunch of stuff down to the barge, no doubt, that didn't want to be down there, but...
Before they turn the lights out on you. We were out.
But yeah, since that's a training ship, I'm going in now anyway. I'm not going to bother finishing it off. Rather than buy the O2, I'm just going to finish up the shift and go inside. Hope they get the game. I really would love a Steam Deck, but it's not within, you know, having just bought this damn thing, it's definitely not within my... it's not within my budget, and probably won't be for a long time. After we move house, definitely not. Since this next house we move to, of course, will be our home. It won't be, like, be our house, not... We won't be renting it.
The last 10% of a job takes as much energy as the first 90%, which is why it's so important to always give 110%.
Give me 1 second, folks. Sorry, had to get myself another drink. True boomer buys house before entertainment. I know, right? I'm not a boomer, of course. I'm a Gen Xer, but I see what you mean. My parents were boomers. What? Oh, God, yeah. That's a union newsletter. Right. Let's progress. Workstation. Oh, I need to... When I go back out, I need to buy a bunch of repair kits, because I haven't got any. The heat capacity... Oh, the brake. Brake on your thrusters. That's always a good thing to get. Okay. Right. So let's... I want the geckos. Hang on a second. I got to work out. I can't remember when we unlock the geckos. Not there. It's on the workstation. Terminal. Certification. So... Is Gecko at level 12? Jesus, that seems like a long way away. That seems a long way away. Alright. So let's do something nice and quick and easy. Tug. Let's do that station hopper transport. Let's do that. The boomer remark was because you exploded in the pressurized room. Well, that's fair. Right, I need some repair kits as well.
Hello there, Rook.
Hello, Lou.
I wanna say, you're getting good.
Yeah, I know.
Talk to me sometimes. It's practically an art form, you know. Do you know about the Guardian cut? How to do it? Saved my ass the other day. You want to avoid a violent decompression? Instead of one cut, make a bunch of fast, long cuts. It spreads out the pressure and avoids a massive blowout. Hey, we should race sometime and compare notes. That would be fun. Maybe we can wager protein cubes. Make it interesting. Think about it. Lou out.
Yes, thank you, Lou. I know you don't know this, Lou, but I've been doing this for 2 years. So, you know, I know what I'm doing. Well, even though I do sometimes get ridiculously careless and blow out a wall in a pressurized room like I just did. Like an idiot. I'm very excited by these early ships. One of the things is that you can release some of the nacelles from the outside, which, you know, little things amuse me. I love doing that. It's so simple and straightforward. So I could probably cut straight into the hull from there, but I'm not going to bother. We'll just go through the door like a normal person. Okay. Wee boink. There we go. Oh, wires. There we go. We need those wires. What? Where's my little fanfare? Because I got the wires. Oh, for God's sake. Nope. I've covered this many times before on this, but in case you're wondering why, I've melted the sides of these doors off. It is because of the way I like to remove all the stuff from there. So I'm going to see, now I'm cutting this with a stinger because that there is aluminium. So if I cut it with a split saw, it'll cut that panel in half. Which, you know, I don't really want to do. Because that wants to go in the furnace. And I don't want more than one piece kind of spinning around over there. Right. So now, what I'm going to do, that I've loosened all that stuff in the cockpit, is I'm going to attach that to there. And of course, 0G being what it is, when this pulls away, all that stuff's loose. So that stuff will stay where it is, making it much easier to fire it down to the barge.
Salvage secured.
There we go. And then you just stop that. Oh, hello.
Salvage registered. Transferring credits.
There's nothing in this. No tanks or anything. So we don't need to. So if there's nothing, like there are no coolant tanks or anything that you need to get out of these side compartments, these areas, there's no real need to cut those loose because it's all going to the same plate. Oh, crap. Yeah, there's no real need to cut those loose if you don't want to do that because it's all going to the same place.
Salvage deposit registered. Account credited.
Cut out the cockpit glass. No, that cut. Now that cut looks like it's gone all the way through, but I bet it hasn't. You watch. Count Zero. Thanks for the sub, Count Zero. I don't know if you're here in the... No, see? I knew that I hadn't cut that cleanly. It looks like it has, but I didn't think it had. There we go. Now we got it. In more pieces than I actually wanted it in, but... There we go. Where'd that other piece go? Oh, crap. Pull that off. Right, see, there's no need to sort of salvage that separately. That can all go into the one place now. You know, you can get a little bit of extra money from it by doing it other way, but it's not really worth it for the time it takes. Those crates, I wouldn't make that cut. You want to make it away from there because if I cut that with those things still there, the problem is that your split saw will catch on that soft crate and set it on fire. So, you don't really want to do that.
Deposit accepted for processing.
Same thing with the seats. You've got to be a little bit careful. Okay. Sometimes if you try to tether too fast like I did there, what you end up is you think you've tethered it into there, but you've actually just tethered it to itself, so it doesn't actually go anywhere. I've done that quite a few times.
Salvage deposit confirmed.
Pull reactor out. Okay, we got the roof off.
Rewards allocated.
Okay, let's get that off. Oh look, suit patch kit, which I don't really need, but there's the thruster. Oh no, wait. Oh no, I can. Shit. Idiot. Okay.
Object processed. Transferring credits.
A bit close to cutting the thruster cap in half there. Class 1 thruster, so it's not worth a great deal. But, you know, this is a low-level ship. I knew that when I took it on. So.
Applying credit.
Okay.
Salvage deposited. Applying credit to account.
Warning. Low oxygen reserves.
Oh, really? There's got to be an O2 tank on this ship.
Salvage deposit accepted.
I really need to sort that out. There's an O2 tank, look.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
Pick up a fuel one while we're at it.
Salvage accepted. Credit applied.
Boom.
Salvage goal obtained. Additional rewards assigned.
Okay. Go. Clean that out pretty nicely. Careful you don't cut in the fuel tank here. Make like a lateral cut. Because there's no fuel cut-off switch for these. Not on these ones, anyway. Grab that. What?
Cutter,
Shit.
shift clock says 5 minutes left. You know
Yes.
what to do.
Thank you, Weaver. I am well aware of that.
Processing valuable deposit. Credit transferred.
Nah. Don't want to risk cutting that because the range of the split saw might mean I'd accidentally cut through that fuel tank. Okie doke. Did I take that console? No, I didn't. There we go. There we go. There we got it. No problem.
Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded.
You are truly a scrap virtuoso. That fanfare was on mute.
Full object processed. Credits deposited.
Oh, come on. Get out of the way. You can daisy chain these, but at this level, your tethers, they have a short lifespan, so they basically run out, and what you end up with is you wander away. Oh, that fuel tank's full because it's heavy as hell. You wander away, and then only afterwards do you realise that your daisy-chained panels didn't go where you thought they went. Because the tether lifetime ran out, or one of the tethers broke because the... It's difficult to explain until you've played the game, but one of the tethers, sometimes they'll break because the panel you've attached it to spins away, and the game then regards the tether as having been attached to the wrong side of the panel, and so it reaches breaking strain and stops. So then you've daisy-chained a panel, one to here and one to there, and then this one broke after you turned away and you didn't notice, so it slowly gets pulled into the furnace and you lose all the cash. It's, you know, stupid stuff, but you get used to it after a while. You learn. Oops. I should have got a bit closer before I did that. A scrap virtuoso. Well, thank you, Vlad. Appreciate that. Okay.
Deposit registered. Account credited.
There you go. So that,
Rewards allocated.
there's a low-level ship. okay? But because there was oxygen on board it as well, so I didn't have to go back to the kiosk. If once you know what you're doing and you've done a few of these, there's no reason why you can't cut a low-level ship like that completely down in a single shift like I just did. No reason at all. But, you know, once you get used to the processes and stuff. But that was a low-level one. I picked that one intentionally because it was low-level and easy. But as you get further into the game, you won't get so many of those that are low-level. Not that low, anyway. You'll get lower-level ships, but not that low. No, that's all okay. Nothing. No. Yep, we're good. We're all done.
That's 1 minute left, Cutter. You're in the middle of something. It's now on time to skedaddle.
Wow. Any tips when a ship panel gets stuck between the processor and the furnace without using loads of tethers? If you've got some sort of panel that's relatively heavy, so like a piece of aluminium panel, or you know something that you can afford to lose, but that's got a little bit of heft to it. So like an internal aluminium panel or something like that, right? If you've got something like that and you've got a piece of panel that's stuck between those 2 points, if you just charge up the push and just wang something that's quite heavy at it, it'll push it away and break it. I actually showed that on the stream a couple of weeks ago when I got one of the Atlas thruster panels. The side panels of the Atlas thrusters are notorious for getting stuck between those two things. They'll get stuck and you can't move them. And the thing is, even if you want to use tethers, there are instances where no amount of tethers is going to shift them off that wall because they just jam there. And for some reason I can't explain, they just won't move. But if you get like a relatively heavy aluminium panel or something like that, something it's got a little bit of weight, but it isn't that expensive. So if it ends up pinging off into the wilderness towards the railgate, it doesn't really matter if you lose it, right? And if you just push that and just wang it towards the panel, it'll quite often just knock it away, and that'll be enough to get it pushed into the processor or wherever it is you're trying to send it. I've said it before about SK and JC4, but it's true with this as well. When SK is really good at a game, it's like watching a version. That was a hell of a clean shift, buddy. Yeah, the furnace has a much stronger pull, yeah. Yeah, the furnace has a way stronger pull. Thank you very much, Pilot. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I mean, I do appreciate that. It is true of me to an extent. I think I'm not one of these gamers that's good at anything that he tries to do. I'm quite bad at most games. You know, anybody that's been watching me on this channel for any length of time will know that. But I don't care. I love to play the games. But when I do spend time, and when I find a game that I love and can spend all the time in, I get really, really good at it. But there aren't very many of those, as you'll know. If you've watched the channel for very long, you'll know there aren't that many games that I'm good at. But yeah, Just Cause, I guess, is one. But yeah, Mad, you're right. The furnace has a way stronger pull than the processor. I don't know why, but it does. Oh, there we go. We've got a separate Javelin tanker level. Hey, look. There we go. Salvage 15 bottles. 15. It's just pathetic, insipid little...
Listen up, guys. I got something
Here he is.
all like.
Oh, are you leaving already?
I went ahead and got you all clearance to use something that'll make you 10
No.
times
Demo
more
charges.
easy. 20 times. You ready? Demolition charges. Spark free.
Spark free my ass.
Cut through damn near anything.
Wait. Spark-free demo charges?
No.
That sounds pretty cool, Mr. Rhodes. Thank you.
No way. Not a chance. Damn things aren't new. Hell, I've been vaporized by those stupid things plenty of times.
Curazon, you're
Spark-free.
spark so much you could put one on a birthday cake.
Yours on.
I don't like Dee Dee at all, but she is right about that.
I'm revoking privileges for external communications.
You... what?
Yeah. No comms outside the station network. No more calls to Mars. All of you need to understand something. I represent the company, and you show me respect. Got it?
Hal, let's you and I sit down and talk about this.
That's all for now. Best get to work.
And there you go. Right, we should be able to finish this. And there we go. So we've got one level of Shipbreaker. We've got that component already. So now we need a heat sink. 2 messages. Okay, that's just my access. That's the demo charges. Ugh. But yeah, DD is right. At the low level, the spark-free demo charges that's bullshit. So the problem... Let me just snap. See, once that goes down to 75%, you get like a little breakage animation and sound accompanied, and then it's not quite as efficient as it was before. Right, let's increase O2 capacity. That's one of the first things you want to do. The second you unlock increased O2 capacity, do it, because it saves you... On the higher level ships, you won't find O2 canisters all over the place, so that saves you having to return... like losing valuable time returning to the kiosk at least once in every shift to soup up your O2. That just saves you having to do that. So the demo charges at the first level, when they talk about spark free, basically they're not very controlled. Yes, they make a clean-ish cut, but they will spark through the hull. So if you use something on the outside of the ship and there's like a reactor or a coolant line or a fuel line or something like that, at the lower levels, what Dee Dee was talking about there with the not being spark-free, when you detonate them, the explosion and the sparks and the charge, it'll arc through the hull and it will sometimes detonate whatever's on the other side. So at the lower levels, they're quite deadly. They're horrible things. But you can mitigate that to some extent by you can see here, look, if I hover over with the mouse, if you go 12, 15... and 19 here, you can unlock that level 12, that level 15, and that level 19. And that sort of reduces the explosive range of that, the uncontrolled bits of the explosion, the sparks, if you like. Okay. Well, as soon as you can, yeah. Yes. But there's no need to run for the earlier than that one. Okay. All right, night, honey. Going to see Richie tomorrow. Hi, Amki. Bye, Amki. Yeah, so it's been working in the other room. Improve the range of the split saw over there. But yeah, that's so. As soon as you can get the O2 increased O2 module. So we've got any new stickers or any upgraded ones. These furnace god ones, look, this is dying through incineration. Oh, there we go. Put that on. We'll put it on there. All right. Let's see what we've got now. Another goddamn javelin. Let's take that cargo hauler. Heat sinks. So we want heat sinks. I think we'll take that Atlas cargo hauler. That's how I talk to my co-workers. Co-workers, pretty sure is effective. Yeah, he's... Hal Rhodes is the administrator that's been sent to stamp out the Union. They've heard rumours of the Union newsletter that's been kicking around, so he's been sent to stamp out the Union and keep us all on. Oops. Jesus Christ, these thrusters are shit.
Salvage accepted. Credit applied.
Oh, that's all decompressed. Oops. Oh, I hate that. That's because I pulled the bottom off first rather than the top. Utility arm. Okie doke.
Salvage deposit confirmed.
Oh, there's a bunch of shipping containers at the back there.
Airlock depressurizing.
There we go. There we go, heatsink. Okay. See, those components that you've got to get for your ship, you can actually retrieve them from certain things. So see how it says hold to extract. Industrial hoist contains rod. So if I needed one of those and I couldn't find one on the ship, I actually find it's very rarely necessary to extract stuff from there unless you're in a real hurry. I pretty much completed, on my other thing, I pretty much completed putting together the armadillo by level 19. I think I'd finished it. 19 or 20, I think. So here's another thing. Food dispenser contains filter. Right. Let's... how do we get up to the second or down to the second floor? What? Okay, that's weird. Alright, whatever. Crap. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's because there's only the... Right, that's it. That's why there's no... That's why there's no entry compartment to the other floor. Because those the little Atlas ships have 2 decks. But the reason there's no access is because the only thing on this deck is the reactor. Another heat sink. Oh, look, repair kits. And a patch kit. There's no point picking that up because I don't know why I bother. I don't know why I bother, honestly. Heading off now. This bunny has an early start at work. All right. Thank you for joining us, bunny. Good to see you. There we go. There it is. Oh, that's still attached somewhere. Whoopsie daisy. Ah. There we go. Really, you should pay more attention to that sort of thing than I was there. When you highlight this, right, can you see how it's outlined in blue, right? So normally, if it's attached to something, right, if you grab that, it's outlined in orange, right? Which means it's still attached to the rest of the ship and is way too heavy for you to push. If it's outlined in blue, it means it's been separated from the rest of the ship, and you should be able to push it. But if you look, There's a thing there, right? I don't know if you can see, but there's a little yellow bar where it says panel nano. Of course, I can't do that in here. It says panel nanocarbon, and then there's a little yellow bar. And if that's red, that means that this is way too heavy for you to push. Don't try, otherwise it'll send you back into the furnace or somewhere. But I don't pay as much attention to that as I should do. Is that a... I'm not going... Oh, this is another thing that's happened with the update. Little things like this. You see this hoist here that's attached. Oops. These used to be attached by 4 clamps. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. But now they've made it 2, so they've made it 1 long clamp on either side. Little things, you know, little tiny adjustments that they've made, but that came with this latest update. Watch you cutting around these soft packs, these soft crates, because they go up in flames like nobody's business. There's cargo hatches. I didn't see those from the outside. See, there's a soft crate. And cutting that close to it is a bit dodgy. Quite often you can set those on fire by doing that. No, I'm not going to cut that way. Let's go and release these thrusters, because if I... So, here's the thing with the Atlas thrusters. When they release, they actually make such a boom. The release of pressure is so intense that if you cut too much of the ship away first, what remains is so lightweight that when the Atlas thruster pops, it can actually send the ship tumbling off into the processor, or, you know, it's not very often that you'll do that, but you can if you cut too much of the ship away first before releasing the thruster itself. It can cause problems with the old physics. I've had 1 or 2 of these spring leaks while I've been cutting these. Sent them hurtling off towards the railgate. Which I'm sure people travelling through the railgate are not particularly pleased about. Usually one of these on the bottom that catches when you release it. I don't know why. There we go. Thruster nozzle. Down to the barge. Right. When you're doing these, one of the best ways to do this, these goddamn stupid quasar thrusters, is to attach a tether there. As long as your tether lifetime is, you know, sufficient. Because then you've got to be a bit careful about cutting through all of these. I've cut into the quasar thruster a few times, I'm afraid to say. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to set on fire going through there, aren't I? Oh no, we're alright. Whoosh. Boom. So that pressure, when that pops like that, if you remove too much of the stuff from the ship first, if you make it too lightweight, quite often what you'll end up doing is that the force of that will push the ship out of its little, I don't know what to call it, orbit, I guess. Not really an orbit, but out of its position. Right, here we go. This is one of the instances where these can get hung up on the side, but we've got a lot of those, so if I pull that off now and then place the tethers in at this end. That should take care of itself.
Ship's got about 5 minutes left in her. Let's make them count. Weaver out.
Thank you, Weaver. Ah, see? See what happened there? So this is one of the problems that they've reintroduced. Come on. Oh, damn, that thing's heavy.
Processing valuable deposits.
It's one of the problems they've reintroduced now. So they brought... God damn. Let me see what a mess that's made, because I think it might have completely screwed up that other... Yeah, look. Look, what's happened. The chance of getting that away from that furnace now is almost 0. But did you see how that all popped apart? That's one of the things that used to happen before the main release update, before the 1.0 update. But then this update that they released, what, last week or the week before, whenever it was, that tweaked a couple of things they wanted to fix and change, you know, made a couple of minor changes, like the things with the hoists and stuff like that, right? But it's reintroduced one or two of those crazy physics pops. And you see what happened there was all I did was cut through one thing. It didn't even... Cutting through that one particular tie bar there didn't even disconnect that from the thruster housing, because there's another one on the other side. So I didn't even disconnect it, but just cutting through it, which shouldn't have affected anything else, caused all the panels of the ship to just go and spray off in different directions. And they used to have a lot of problems like this in the early days. But so now it looks like they've reintroduced some of those, which is a bit of a pain. Because now I've got to try and get rid of this thing without it disappearing into the furnace. And that's a lot harder now that it's snuggled up nicely against the furnace.
Credits deposited.
I mean, we'll see. We might manage it. But look, the pull of that furnace is intense. And now... See, that's kicked it around a little bit. That might actually help. Now, the problem with this now is that this isn't actually moving, so it's turning while I'm trying to make a precise cut. Which is not ideal. I think you'll agree. And the reason I haven't tethered the quasar thruster, by the way, is because this is now so light that it might actually pull this whole thing if I tether it. Come on. Oh, you beast. There you go. Okay, here we go. Ow.
Fire damage.
Yes, I fire. No shit, lady. Okay, now this is where we find out whether or not it's going to get blown into the furnace. Ah.
Reserves are critical.
Now is not the time to have critical oxygen reserves, so
Calculating carbon dioxide levels.
go to hell, lady. Use the jacks whenever you can in situations like this. You know, that's what they're there for.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
So yeah, use the jacks when you can that are dotted around that, because that's what they're there for. Oh crap. No, that's been sucked in. I've just lost that. See? I've lost a bunch of money there. There you go. 56,000 credits I just lost. That can't be the... No. 400... So, like, I just lost, like, about 500,000 credits there because that blew that so close to the processor and the furnace that it just all got sucked in. See? So, stuff like that, they've reintroduced. So, they'd got rid of most of those problems, but they've reintroduced a lot of them with this update.
1 minute left on the clock.
Bit of a pain in the ass, frankly.
Salvage deposited. Apply
Okay.
credit to account. Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Oh, crap. See, that was drifting towards the furnace there. And it wouldn't have got sucked in by the furnace, but it probably would have got hung up on that side. Look how close these shipping containers are to it. What a pain in the ass. Oh dear. Oh, we haven't even dealt with the thruster at the bottom. Wow. Yeah, so they used to have a lot of problems like that early on. And they fixed most of them. And most of the ones that remained were about the Gecko salvage runner, which I hate. That is the ship I hate the most in this game. I really, really hate taking down the Gecko salvage runners because... Firstly, they're famously, if you play this game, if you've been playing it for a while, they are famously the glitchiest ship in the game. If there's going to be a problem, like 9 out of 10 problems that they have with ships, like 9 out of 10 of them revolve around that one ship, the salvage runner. Not only that, but there's just inside, there's just an absolute bunch, because it's a salvage ship. There's a ton of just little bits of tiny bits of rammel just floating around, right? And it's not even in one compartment. The salvage runners are divided off into like a honeycomb of millions of little compartments all over the place. They're a pain in the ass to get all this stuff out of. But in amongst all this loose stuff, there's like fuel canisters, loose seats, asteroid shards, and if you need to explosively decompress the ship because the atmospheric regulators don't work, which a lot of them don't at the higher levels, it's impossible to do that. Firstly, because there are so many compartments, and secondly, because when you depress the compartment, they're so full of crap that all that crap blows around, rupturing fuel lines and fuel tanks. They're horrible. I hate those things. Evil ships. I actually can't remember the last time I did one, because I just avoid them, if I can. Oh no, we got a message.
Hello, Shipbreaker. You have 1 incoming transmission waiting.
Hey folks, this is a private channel. Dee Dee, you alright?
No, I'm not. Taking away my comm privileges? Family's probably worried as hell about me now.
I'm working on that, Dee Dee. I'll get your comms back.
Wait, whoa. Is he actually allowed to do that?
He is. Didn't think he would. But he is.
Does he outrank you?
It's complicated, lady.
Still think he'll be gone in a week, Dee Dee?
If he isn't, I'm gonna float over there and kick him straight out of the airlock.
Nice. If I get my hands on him, ooh.
All right, hold up now. Let's not get all fire and brimstone. We can still sort this out. Now, why don't we all just call it a day? Get some shut-eye, and we'll hit this up tomorrow, all right? We were out.
Yeah, so none of them are particularly pleased with Hal Rhodes. And as you'll see as the story goes on, the man's a fucking liability.
Hello, Shipbreaker 9346-52. Lynx would like to share the following info.
He's the worst kind of clueless middle management asshole, but unfortunately he works on this job, so it's not like he works at a paper company. He works on this, so when he fucks up and makes mistakes, people can get killed. He's...
Hi, I'm Shippy.
an asshole.
Let me know. My prognosis is your ship will be awesome in no time. Successful transplant. Nice job.
Oh, so we need fuses and wires now.
Achievement. My prognosis is your ship will...
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Dad. Case told me what's going on. I don't know what to say, except I'm sorry you got sick. It sounds stupid saying it, but it's true. I wish I could fly home and see you, but there's a chance my job wouldn't be here when I got back, and, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted you to know that I love you, Dad. And I know I didn't turn out how you probably wanted me to, but I'm happy. I really am. I mean, my life's not perfect, but I get to see some pretty amazing things every now and again. Remember the first time you showed me a comet in that telescope you bought me for my birthday? Well, I got to see one up close, like real close, actually. I had to drop off some supplies to a team that was mining one of them for platinum just right above Mars. It's crazy, huh? Yeah. Well,
Ooh, look.
I thought you'd like to hear about that. Yeah. So, I gotta run. Just want you to know that I think about you all the time. And when I do, it feels like you're here. I miss you, Dad.
All right. So that was one of the audio logs that I found on one of the ships there. It's one of the ways, you know, it's like in a Bethesda game, you get left notes and scrawled things on walls and notes by trolls that you left under bridges and stuff like that. I love that one. It's one of my favorites. The depressed troll, worst troll ever. That's my favorite note in a Bethesda RPG. It's awesome. But you get those.
Thank you for your
Headers restored.
So it's one of the ways that they, you know, that you find out the lore of the game. It's kind of hidden in the little, you know, messages to family and stuff like that you can find.
Rewards will be paid.
Shit, idiot. Really difficult to hit that when it's drifting. Of course, I could have just used the stinger like I was supposed to, and then that wouldn't have happened. Right.
Raw material process. Credits.
Let's see what we can do about those shipping containers, first off. Because if I don't hurry up and sort these, they're going to get sucked into the furnace. Okay. Okay, there we go.
Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded.
Okie dokie. Yeah, so the ship popping apart like that, as you know, obviously should not have happened because, well, firstly, that shouldn't ever happen. Even in an explosive decompression event, that shouldn't happen.
Salvage deposit.
But secondly,
Applying credit.
the thing that I cut through didn't even separate that fuel tank from the thruster. Never mind, it shouldn't even have affected all of this stuff over here. So, you know, yeah, they need to fix that.
Account credit applied.
See, now it's separated. There we go. All right.
Salvage secured.
See if we can clean up some of this crap.
Object processed. Transferring credits.
Oh, railguide. Is that one loose? No. Whee! Okie doke. These are a pain. Cargo panels, because the top panel of the cargo doors needs to go down to the barge, but the frames need to go in the processor. And these cargo doors are actually surprisingly heavy. You know, I mean, you can move them easily, but they can be quite difficult to move.
Salvage registered. Transferring credit.
If if they're in an awkward position on top of the ship and you've got to move them around, it's not like they're impossible, they're just a bit of a pain in the ass. Okay.
Valuable objects processed. Credits deposited.
Let me just pull that straight out. There's no point. Now, when you pull a reactor out like that, I've pulled them out quite cleanly so far, but if you mess about with them too long, even before they melt down, what happens is that they will start to arc. And that'll go through walls. It'll like the arc itself will just incinerate a nanocarbon panel. It'll just smash it into pieces, and that can cause some. So if you don't get the reactor out of the way quickly, even though it's not close enough to melting down to really explode, if you don't get it out of the way quickly, you can cause yourself all kinds of other problems.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
Okay, right, since this ship seems to be behaving a bit strangely, I'm going to do that last thruster before I do anything else. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should actually leave it because the ship's behaving strangely. Maybe I should leave that till the last in case it blows all the other stuff into the furnace. See, this is what I'm talking about with this. See that? So even though that was on the other side of the thruster, because I was attached to that when I used the push, you can do that, right? No problem. But if I'd done that and let go of it and pushed, it wouldn't have done anything. Or, best case. Worst case scenario, it would have pushed me upwards and into one of the jacks or into the furnace. And that would have cost me a spare. So, not dead, but it would have cost me 150 grand to get brought back to life. And when you do that with reactors and things, you can also cause all kinds of damage. Loose? Yeah.
Salvage accepted. Credit applied.
Crap. Okay.
Thruster unstable. Fire hazard risk high.
Go, 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 go. Get out. Ah. Boosh. Okay.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Whee!
Salvage deposit registered. Account credited.
All right. What's that hung up on? That is because... Oh. Let's see. I see.
Valuable deposit. Credits transferred.
Alright, let's grab that O2. Grab that fuel. Pull that off there. And that. Oops. Right, there we go. Oh no, that's not going to free it.
Salvage accepted. Credit applied. Processing valuable object. Credit awarded.
Alright, that should do it. That should do it.
Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded.
Come on. You big bastard. Oh. Hoist. I always, when I pull these quasar thrusters out to the back of the bay, so often I end up forgetting that they're there.
Credits awarded. Salvage secured. Applying credit.
Alright, Cutter. You got 5 minutes left in the
You got
ship.
5 minutes
Turn the
left.
lights out.
Yes, thank you, Weaver. Now I can reach the other side of that. Cut carefully.
Confirmed. Applying credit. Processing object.
There she goes.
To count.
Ta-da! Hudson Hawk. Right. Let's empty this out. Get all the nice expensive stuff out of the cockpit. Why the tatty old chairs would be worth anything, I don't know, but
Applying credit to account.
you know, ours is not to reason why. Ours is but to submit to BBI.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
Whee!
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
You notice when you pull these things off, that you see where it says there, I don't know if you can see, at the bottom, it's computer terminal, 8 kilograms, and then it tells you the links tokens, the cut level under the bottom, right? And it's got a little blue star. So there's like those little boxes where it says cut level, that's the condition of the item.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Hey, okay. Come on. There we go.
Accepted. Credits applied.
Okay. Fucking stupid ladder. Get out of the way.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Worthless piece of junk.
Salvage registered. Transferring credits.
There you go. There you go.
Object accepted for...
Not worth anything, that ladder, really, but it's in the way, so... Oh, there we go. Battery pack. Oh, shit.
Salvage secured. Applying credit.
We got 1 minute 23 seconds. I don't want to come back here for another shift on this. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
That's 1 minute left on the clock, Cutter.
I know that, Weaver. Shut up.
Deposit accepted for processing.
Come on.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Hesitated there because I thought, have I got that airlock console? Probably. Yes, no, I don't know. Oh, shit. Look at this crap. Oh, to hell with it. To hell with it. It can all burn. I don't care.
Salvage deposit confirmed. Applying credit.
Come on, baby. Well, I'm not going to come out here for another shift on this. Oh, I missed the nanocarbon panel. God damn. But to Millie. Aline Khan, welcome back. That's not a reason why, but to Millie Pry would die. Yeah, I can't be bothered to go out there for another...
Certification level.
I'm not going out there for another run. I'm not on that ship, anyway.
You're allocated ship.
Hey, you're now authorized to work on salvaging power generators. Fried myself a few times trying to get the last fuse off those. Yes, yes.
Bit of a surprise for you this morning, 52.
That's me.
I think we should talk this through a bit more.
Yeah, Joseph. Something you'll learn about being a manager, always be pushing your people. It's how they grow. Now, I see so much confidence on this crew. I think it's time to bump everyone up a hazard level.
Hal, this is too soon. I really don't see eye to eye with you on this.
Well, sometimes you need an outside perspective on things. All right, Joseph. Go ahead and train up 52 here when they're ready.
Sorry, Cutter. I'll help ease you into this. Just let me know when you're ready to start training.
Yeah, all right, all right.
We're out.
Soup up! What did I miss? I don't know. What did you miss? Yeah. So he's gonna have a training ship for me then. Yes, I know that. Shippy. Shut up, Shippy. Let's just pair some of those. 107. What do we got? Grapple. Helmet. No. I find this to be a bit useless. This O2 recharge module. So install an atmosphere pump, a filter subsystem. This allows for the gradual replenishment of breathable oxygen tanks while in a pressurized environment. But the problem is you're never really in a pressurized environment long enough for that to make any difference. Oh, demo charges. I should probably keep hold of that for my demo charge license, but... tether lifetime improvement would help. What the hell? There we go. Right. So let's see if he's got a training ship for us. I think he has. Yeah, there we go. So let's do this one, and that'll be the last one for today. He just wants me to remove the Basically, to take the power generator off, to remove it safely without damaging it or yourself, there are 3 fuses, and you've got to shut all the fuses down, and there's like a sequence of blinking lights, and you've got to shut the fuse down when all the lights are out. But for every one you remove, that sequence blinks faster. So the first 2 are never really any problem at all, but the third one, sometimes... I have frazzled myself a few times trying to get the timing right on the third one.
Hey there, Cutter. Gonna really need your full attention today. We're going over the power generator.
Hold up now. Training time has not been authorized. We have quotas to meet.
See, this is the problem with Hal Rhodes, right? Not only is he a bureaucratic little middle management ass face, but he complains when things aren't done right, but then he refuses to let people train, and then he'll bump us all up a level to progress things faster, right? But he doesn't want the guy to train us on it. And then when it goes wrong, he blames us for not doing the training. And, it's, a real asshole.
Power generators are highly hazardous. Joseph, you've got to promote self-sufficiency in your team. Let 52 here hash it out. Nothing like a spare or 2 to let the lesson sink in. Hal, look, I gotta report if we're not hitting quotas. Don't want to draw Rye Paulson's attention now, right?
All right, Cutter. I'm adding some tasks for you to follow for this shift only. Just make sure you pull them fuses before going for the power generator.
Right. So you see these cut points here? These are grade 3 cut points. So if you look, I cannot cut through these, right? Split saw. It says above cut grade, right? Oops. So I can't cut through them. If you remove these ion rings, they're actually worth quite a bit. I can cut through that one there, because that's a grade 1 cut point, so that's easy, right? Cut through those ones on either side. But without demo charges, I can't. You don't actually need this one here and that one. You don't actually need to cut through those. There's no need, because it's all going to the same place. You just pull it off in one piece. But that one, you definitely do need to remove. And I can't, because I don't have a demo charge. But since this is just a training ship, I don't really care, to be honest. Let me just get rid of these fuel tanks before I start messing about with anything else, though, because otherwise we can have a little bit of a problem. Okay. I quite often do get a bit careless with these fuel tanks. See, like here, see? If I cut that with a split saw about there, the split saw will extend so far beyond that cut point that it'll probably cut into the fuel tank and explode. So, but if I move over there, that stops that from happening, see? There we go, one fuel tank down to the barge. Other one's on the top. There we go.
Salvage deposit registered. Account credited.
Okay. Okay, we're good. So I'm just blasting them a little bit to push them away from the clamps so that I can send them down to the barge. The ones on the top, I'll need to do a bit more than that. There we go. But otherwise, it should be alright. See? You get to blow them away from the clamps so that you can actually send them down there. And I'm just pushing that over to the side so that I can do that.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Okay.
Salvage accepted. Credits applied.
Power generator's probably up there somewhere. Can you hear that?
Salvage secured. Applying credit. Salvage deposit confirmed.
Shut up, lady. Right, so that's the fuses that you can hear cycling. So let's go and get to them. And they'll be in the crawl space.
Airlock pressurizing.
Honey, you alright? Another little bunny. That right, you can hear them now, right? So you can hear the fuses cycling, so we need to get into the crawl space. There's the power generator. And you want to pull it off from this side.
There's one of them fuses, Cutter. See them blinking red lights? Wait till they're off, then pull the release lever. Ah, there it is. The power generator.
So here's one.
These beauties carry a heck of a charge, so be extra careful or you'll be fried to a crisp. Now don't forget to salvage that fuse. See those lights around it?
Yes.
Red means you need to disconnect more fuses before pulling this.
Now he's talking about the power generator, not the fuses. So there you go. So wait till the lights go out. Which at that stage is really easy. Usually they're on the opposite sides when you find them. So the other ones are probably over here. Yeah. So here's another one. But if you see, for every one you pull, the lights get faster. Right? And again, second one, not too much of a problem. But then you get to this one.
Check out the diagnostics program in your hab to install it.
There we go. Well done, Cutter. You disconnected the now the power generator should be safe to extract.
Yes.
Give it a go.
I will, but firstly, I need to find a way to get it out, so... Right, so... Oh, hello. Heatsink. Right, now this will be a problem because the ion ring's still attached. So getting that out won't be difficult, but... See, the ion ring is actually still attached, so separating all these is not going to be easy. In fact, it'll be nigh on impossible. Let's see if I can pull it away. Don't think so, because it's really big and heavy, but... it's possible. We'll see. Yeah, with the ion rings attached, I don't think that's going anywhere. Unless I missed a cut point, which is possible. Yeah, it's not unheard of that I'd have missed a cut point, which would mean it couldn't cut the damn thing away, but... See? Look at that. Pain in the ass. I mean, it's not the end of the world, because I can just pull this out through here. But...
Well done, Cutter. Rest should be a breeze. Just place it on the old barge.
Yoink. There we go. Done.
Oh, congratulations, Cutter. You secured your first power generator.
Yay! The blaring klaxon alarm of success. Actually, the best ones. Let me go see if this should have a level 2. Yes, it's massive. It's got a level 2 reactor in it, class 2 reactor aboard. Oh, I don't think there's any atmosphere in the back end though. No, there isn't. And there's probably no atmo regulator. Oh, there is.
There's 5 minutes remaining in this ship.
But now this is another thing you've got to be aware of, right? Because, like this, I'm not bothered about this because this is just a training ship and it's the last one. I'm going to wrap it up in a minute now anyway. But when you're... this won't always affect you, and even if it does, there's always a way around it. But quite often, let's say, for some reason, you needed to depress this area here. Let's say, so this whole area is pressurized, right? And the atmospheric regulator is working, right? That's great. But what did I just do? That means that it doesn't make any difference. I can't activate the atmosphere regulator because I just uncoupled all the power. So nothing on this ship has power anymore. So the atmospheric regulators and the airlock consoles and all these things, they just won't work now because I've disconnected all the power. Now, that never really hampers me because the power regulator, the power generator is always one of the last things that I remove. It's always one of the last things I take off. And, you know, not particularly because I'm extra cautious. It's just, that's the way I do things. But, what I was going to show you if I could repressurize that is the klaxon sound you get. Because you won't be able to hear it because there's no air in here, so you won't be able to hear it. But when you disconnect this... Oh, which, of course, I also can't do because I've disconnected the power. So, you know, there you go. So that's still active, so I can't disconnect that. So there's still fuel running through there, which you can hear as well. You know, you can see by the lights, but you can also hear it if you touch the pipe. Right, I love that. So if you actually touch the pipe, you can hear the fuel running through the line. So, if I was... This is just a trading ship, as I said, I'm not really bothered. All he wanted me to do was disconnect the power generator. But let's say that I wanted to tear this entire ship down. I've got a real problem now because I have disconnected the power, which means that I cannot disconnect the thruster. I can't activate the thruster ejection switch won't work, which means I can't shut down the power line, right? Which means the only way to get that off there is to make it explode, essentially. So that, if I was actually doing this ship for the whole teardown, I would have caused myself a massive, massive issue there. As it happens, I'm not, so I don't care. But
Your oxygen reserves are low.
But like I said, that's one of the reasons why
Damage to Link's equipment.
I like the power generator is always the last thing, one of the very last things I do. But quite often, that's not really through caution. It's convenience as much as anything else, really. It tends to be a bit of a... It tends to be in a bit of an awkward place. So it's usually one of the last things that you remove because it's one of the last things that you get to. But in this case, because that's what he wanted us to do before the shift was over, we've removed that first. And now, of course, that's cut the power to everything else. So we can't actually do anything else safely.
Warning. Critical oxygen level.
But, you know,
Consult
it's not a problem.
on how to
We're out of O2, so I'm just
saturation.
cutting through stuff haphazardly. Alright, let's go back inside and wrap up the stream. But yeah, it is, you know, it's usually one of the last things you'll come to anyway, just because of how the ships are designed. But it is something to be aware of. You know, if it's on a training ship like that, I'm not bothered about it. But, like, if we've got a big javelin like that, looking at it as a training ship is not a problem. But let's say that whole javelin, and one of the first things we did was disconnect the power generator. Now, if there are any pressurized areas of the ship, even if they've got working atmospheric regulators, you can't depressurize the ship safely. Because none of the regulators or airlock consoles will work now because you've disconnected the power. You switched the power off, which means you also can't disconnect the thruster, which means that extremely dangerous Class 2 reactor is now connected to the thruster with a live fuel line, which you've no way of shutting off now. So the only way to disconnect the thruster and the reactor is to switch that off. Now, what I probably would do if I'd found myself in that position, particularly with the way the reactor was oriented sort of horizontally, right? Which makes that easier, because you can then cut away all the rings, separate all the rings, and expose, so you can do them one at a time, and expose the reactor and the whole complex system. So the reactor, which is connected by a coolant line to the ECU, the environmental control unit, right? And then to the thruster. And none of that is now, you're not able to disconnect any of that safely now because you've turned the power off. Well, you can the ECU, because you can just pull the door off and then remove the coolant tanks, and that'll shut that down. But the fuel for the thruster, you can't. But what you can do is pull out the entire, when it's oriented horizontally like that, you can remove the rings and then just pull out the entire thing separately, and then remove the reactor, right? Which it'll melt down a bit faster, but trust me, you'll still have plenty of time. So just pull it out, send it down to the barge, and then, the main dangerous bit is done. Then you can pull all the coolant lines out of the ECU, so that's shut off, so the coolant line is not a danger to you anymore. And then the only bit that should be any danger is the fuel going from there to there, going from the reactor to the thruster, which if you remove the reactor, should have nullified that anyway. So, these are all things that you kind of find out as you go along. They have put a lot of thought into everything interconnects. They have indeed, Dwight, yes. Yeah, it's one of the things I really love about the game. It's so well thought out. Like, when you get to, and bear in mind, this is still at a low level. When we get to the higher ranks, the higher hazard levels, you've really got to think things through, because if you do things in the wrong order, that's it. You've lost. Best case scenario, you've lost, millions of dollars worth of salvage. Worst case, you've lost millions of dollars worth of salvage and your life. So it's not great. But there are, as you learn your way through it, you'll figure out ways of getting around problems that you sometimes have caused. But any of those problems, the ways that you can get around them are almost always dangerous.
Good morning, Shipbreaker. This is your daily wake-up call.
Right. Excuse me. So I'm going to leave it there. That is the end of today's stream. I've got a lot of stuff now to do this week. We're trying to ramp up now as we get towards actually exchanging contracts of the house, which we still don't know when that's going to happen, but it is, and then we'll be moving house. So I can't see at this point. I was going to say, and I'll be back next week. Now, I'm starting to say that with a little more caution nowadays. I can see no reason why I wouldn't be back at the same time next week. But there won't be another one this week because there's just too much for me to do. But yeah, so certainly I can't see any reason at this point why I shouldn't be back next week. So barring another plague or a power outage or something like that, you'll see me again next week. But, I'll be in the Discord. I'll be hanging out in the Discord. It's odd, this isn't my type of game, but I do enjoy watching you play it. Oh, that's always nice to hear, Dwight. It's a very relaxing game to play. It's like, it really is one of those games where you can just sort of chill out, and you get a really good feeling from being extraordinarily efficient. So when you get to the points where you really know what you're doing, and you learn to sort of cut a ship that in the early days would have taken you 3 shifts to take it apart, and you can do it in 1. The big javelins like that one, to take everything off that, there is no way anybody is doing that in 1 shift. But, you can, if you really know what you can do, and you can get all the really expensive stuff off it in 1 shift. But you've got to be really efficient, and you've got to be willing to make big sacrifices to do that. But it's a great game. I just absolutely love it, as you regulars all know, because I've been going on about it for years. Anyway, As I say, I can't see any reason why I wouldn't be back next week. Unfortunately, there won't be any more streams this week because I've got a million different things to do, and the plague has left me a little bit behind on a lot of that as well. So I'll be getting on with that. But I can't see any reason why I wouldn't be back next week. Thank you very much, Dwight. I appreciate that. In the meantime, you can catch us over in the Discord. I think HJ put the Discord link in there somewhere earlier, but I don't. I do have on my Stream Deck. I have a little button here to link the Discord thing, but for some reason my YouTube commands don't work. All the others do, but the YouTube commands don't work, and they haven't done for quite some time, and I keep meaning to get back to Elgato and say, are you going to sort this problem or what? But anyway, whatever. Thank you very much for joining me, as always. Thank you, Corvo, Dwight, Aline Khan, Supop. There's HJ with the Discord link, if you're not in the Discord already. Thanks, HJ. Cheers, buddy. Appreciate it. He's put the Discord link in there. Thank you very much, Mad Bunny and Pilot, and Geggs and Kitty and Spiff and everybody else who came along today. GW, Vlad, who else we had? Lots and lots of people. Yes, we had a load of people in early on. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining me. I appreciate the support as always. It's good to be back, even though I'm not 100% yet, but I'm close enough, like 98%. Just this irritating little cough now. I will be back next week, but until then, thanks once again, and from Nights Arcade, this is Sleepless Night saying nighty-night.